Hello, and welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real-life American English. Today we're going to learn some great vocabulary and learn to avoid some important mistakes. So let's get started. Today we're talking about these words: behave, misbehave, and behavior. They're used in different ways. First, let's talk about behave. Behave is the verb. It means to act nice, to be good. We use it especially for children. I tell my children to behave. I say behave. It means be good. Don't break the rules. Follow the rules. And we don't say behave good or behave well. We just say behave. And if they don't follow the rules, if they break the rules, if they're not nice, I say they don't behave. Or I can say they misbehave. Example, it's important to behave in school. It's important for kids to behave in school. Let's practice. Is it important for kids to behave in school? That's right, it's important for kids to behave at school. Example, these kids are not behaving. They're misbehaving. And it's not good. They shouldn't misbehave in school. Let's practice. Are these kids behaving? That's right, they're not behaving. Are they misbehaving? That's right, they're misbehaving. It's not good. Should they misbehave in school? That's right, they shouldn't misbehave in school. Another option we have with behave is you can say behave yourself. We can make it a reflexive verb. You should behave yourself in school. Kids should behave themselves in school. Or I can just say kids should behave in school. Making it a reflexive verb is optional. You don't have to do it, but you might hear it sometimes. Let's practice. Should they behave themselves in school? That's right, they should behave themselves in school. Or I can say they should behave. I don't have to say themselves. They should behave in school. Let's practice. Should they behave in school? That's right, they should behave in school. Now let's talk about this word, behavior. This is the noun. And I have to say good or bad. For example, good behavior or bad behavior. You might see this on a report card. Like the report card you get from school, it might say good behavior or bad behavior. But we don't really say this. We don't say my kid has good behavior or my children have bad behavior. We don't say this. We say my kid behaves or my children don't behave. We don't use good behavior and bad behavior in this situation. So don't say my children have good behavior. Say my children behave. Or my children behave themselves. But we have an expression. Be on your best behavior. That means to behave yourself the best that you possibly can. That is to be on your best behavior. Let's hear some examples.
Miss Mary Ellen Woman's being very generous to offer us her hospitality, so I hope you will be on your best behavior.
I need you to promise me that you'll be on your best behavior.
Just stay calm, be on your best behavior, so I'll be behind the scene. All of you, I expect you to be on your best behavior while I'm gone. Do you understand me?
I trust that you will be on your best behavior tonight.
And while she's here, I expect y'all to be on your best behavior.
So I expect you to be on your best behavior, which means none of you will be insubordinate, nor will you foment insurrection.
And I expect you to be on your best behavior.
I expect you to be on your best behavior.
Example, the kids went to church and their mother told them to be on their best behavior. And they were. They were on their best behavior. They behaved. They were good. Let's practice. Did their mother tell them to be on their best behavior? That's right, their mother told them to be on their best behavior. And were they? Were they on their best behavior? That's right, they were on their best behavior. Did they behave in church? That's right, they behaved in church. They were good. So remember these words. Behave is the verb. You can say behave or behave yourself, but yourself is optional. You don't have to say it. Just say behave. And if you don't behave, you misbehave. And behavior is a noun. But don't say they have good behavior. Just say they behave. But you can use the expression be on your best behavior. So keep watching to learn more and practice more with some great vocabulary. Today we're talking about this word, pile. Sometimes it's used as a noun, It can also be used as a verb. It can also be changed into a phrasal verb. And it can be used as an adjective. Let's look at all the different cases. First, let's talk about the noun, a pile. A pile of. It's countable. We need the article a pile of, plus the preposition of. A pile of. This is a pile of clothes. It's like a little mountain. A pile of clothes. Again, this is a pile of clothes. Pronunciation, not pile, but pile. Use the dark L at the end. It changes the vowel. Pile. Pile. This is a pile of clothes. Let's hear some examples.
It's not like there's much difference between you and this pile of dirt right now.
The rest of the world can't even see you under that pile of work you took on to help Harvey.
And the first brother says, with a pile of manure like this, I figure there's got to be a horse under here somewhere.
Someone had put your box of dresses underneath a pile of rags in the garage.
Every day I load a pile of junk. I walk 20 miles. I unload a pile of junk. And you just stand around like some idiot taking pictures of me.
But the press wanted Nancy to be a princess and me to be the pile of crap.
Example, there's a pile of clothes on the floor. Let's practice. Is there a pile of clothes on the floor? That's right, there's a pile of clothes on the floor. Another example, there's a pile of dishes in the sink. Let's practice. Is there a pile of dishes in the sink? That's right, there's a pile of dishes in the sink. Not good. Because the noun pile is countable, I can make it plural and say piles. Piles of gold, for example. Here are 4 piles of gold. You can have piles and piles. Piles of gold. Or piles of anything. Let's hear some examples.
You can't just hand the banks massive piles of cash.
I saw it rolling past the little piles of meat and bones, which I would call my friends.
Piles and piles of magazines, and you read all the time, right?
Do you know how many years I spent watching these morons win piles of money sitting on their stoop?
Oh, accusing their neighbors of stuff, lying all the time, random piles of money around the house.
I really had to dig among the piles of destruction to come up with one that had even that, slightest hint of recognition.
Single geriatric male with piles of money and a terminal illness.
Example, there are 4 piles of gold and jewels, but we'll focus on the gold. There are 4 piles of gold. Let's practice. How many piles of gold are there? That's right, there are 4 piles of gold. And the word pile can also be used as a verb. If you make a pile, you pile. Example, my son piles his clothes on the floor. The idea, he makes a pile of clothes on the floor. So I can use the verb pile. I pile, you pile, he piles. He piles his clothes on the floor. He doesn't put his clothes in a basket, he just piles the clothes on the floor. Let's hear some examples with the verb pile.
What are you gonna do now, pile the furniture on me?
And they have these tables for 4, which means the 3 of us can sit down, and we pile the extra chair with our hats and gloves. Nobody can sit with us.
You had to pile them on trucks and lash them against the tanks.
Piled the whole car full of everything.
Let's practice. Does he pile the clothes on the floor? That's right, he just piles the clothes on the floor. He makes a mess. It's not good. Now let's talk about the phrasal verb. The phrasal verb is pile up. Pronounce it like one word. Don't say pile up, say pile up. That's the phrasal verb. It means when things accumulate into a large amount or into a pile. Either way, we use the phrasal verb pile up. Example, the dishes are piling up in the sink. And you shouldn't let the dishes pile up in the sink. It's not a good thing. Let's hear some examples with the phrasal verb pile up.
I let the dishes pile up, and I did the same thing with the laundry.
I don't want all the debt to pile up and crush us.
Debt started to pile up, and I started taking pills to numb the pain.
In the name of science, I let the crap pile up, and I see which team member is the most self-flagellating, breaks down.
Threw it out. It's easy for newspapers to pile up and just things get out of hand.
Example, the dishes are piling up in the sink. I use the continuous action piling because it's happening right now. The dishes are piling up in the sink. And you shouldn't let the dishes pile up in the sink. It's not a good thing. Let's practice. Are the dishes piling up in the sink? That's right, the dishes are piling up in the sink. Should you let the dishes pile up in the sink like this? That's right, you shouldn't let the dishes pile up in the sink. It's not good. It's a mess. Another example. You shouldn't let the clothes pile up on the floor. That's not good. Let's practice. Should you let the clothes pile up on the floor like this? That's right, you shouldn't let the clothes pile up. You should wash them. You shouldn't let them accumulate into a pile. You shouldn't let them pile up. Now let's change the phrasal verb pile up into an adjective. Piled up. We have the d sound for the ed. Link the sounds. Piled up. Pronounce it like one word. Not piled up, but piled up. Connect the d with the next word. Dup, dup, piled up. Pronounce it like one word. It's easier that way. Piled up is an adjective, so I can use the verb to be and say are. The dishes are piled up in the sink. Or if I talk about the clothes, I can say the clothes are piled up on the floor. Or I can use the adjective without the verb to be and say I don't like the clothes piled up on the floor. Or I don't like the dishes piled up in the sink. Here we don't need the verb to be. Again, I don't like the dishes piled up in the sink, and I don't like the clothes piled up on the floor. Let's hear some examples with the adjective piled up.
What gives you the damn right to keep our cigarettes piled up on your desk and to squeeze out a pack only when you feel like it, huh?
Orders have piled up and I don't know where they go.
And there were a ton of bodies piled up on one another.
Dirty dishes piled up all over the sink.
So let's talk about the difference. I can say I don't like when the clothes are piled up on the floor. With this structure, we need the verb to be. I don't like when the clothes are piled up on the floor. But we don't need to make the sentence so long. We make it shorter. I don't like the clothes piled up on the floor. Here, we don't need the verb to be. It's shorter. It's easier to say. And it's correct. So example, the dishes are piled up in the sink. And I don't like the dishes piled up in the sink. I don't like it at all. Let's practice. Are the dishes piled up in the sink? That's right, the dishes are piled up in the sink. Do you like the dishes piled up in the sink? That's right, I don't like the dishes piled up in the sink. It's not good. It's a huge mess. Another example, the clothes are piled up on the floor. And I don't like the clothes piled up on the floor. They need to be washed. Let's practice. Are the clothes piled up on the floor? That's right, the clothes are piled up on the floor. Do you like the clothes piled up on the floor? That's right, I don't like the clothes piled up on the floor. It's a huge mess. Now let's talk about this pileup. This pileup is not a phrasal verb. It's a countable noun. So we use the article a pileup. So what is a pileup? A pileup is a large car accident with multiple cars. You need to have more than two. 2 cars, that's not a pileup. You need 3, 4, 5, 10, 20. You need a lot of cars. You need a lot of cars to call it a pileup. Example, there was a 4-car pileup on the highway. That means there was an accident with 4 cars all together on the highway. That's called a pileup. A big accident with multiple cars. Again, there was a 4-car pileup on the highway. The traffic was horrible. Example, there was a 4-car pileup on the highway today. That means there was a large accident with 4 cars. That's a 4-car pileup. Remember, we don't say a 4 cars pileup because the word car here is an adjective before a noun. We have to use it in the singular form. We cannot put an S on it. We cannot make it plural. There was a 4-car pileup on the highway today. Let's practice. Was there a 4-car pileup on the highway today? That's right, there was a 4-car pileup on the highway today. The traffic was horrible. So remember, the word pile can be a countable noun, a pile or 2 piles. It can be a verb. Don't pile your clothes in the closet. And it can be a phrasal verb, pile up. The dishes pile up in the sink if you don't wash them. And we have the adjective piled up. The dishes are piled up in the sink. Or you can say, I don't like the dishes piled up in the sink. It's not good. And you can also have a pileup, a big accident with a lot of cars. That's a pileup. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to become a member, click the join button. And we'll see you next time.